Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here with my follow-up on the battery life on the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3. And you're probably, for those of you who've watched my previous video, wondering why I have a black one now instead of a cream-colored one. I'll talk about that in a minute. But the moral of the story is here, and I know there's a lot of you who have really been waiting for this video. I mean, at least like 6 or 7. So it's not as bad as I thought, and I had a lot of reservations about it. I was really concerned prior to the phone coming out because, let's face it, the Z Flip and the Z Flip 5G, the first two phones, both only had a 3,000 milliamp battery. They didn't get the most stellar battery life in the world, so I thought for sure adding in all these different features would make it worse, and the results are surprising, and we're going to talk about it in this video. But before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. I'll talk about my experience with the Z Flip 3 battery life. Okay, so the Z Flip 3 battery life has been better than I thought it's going to be. Now that doesn't mean it's amazing. It doesn't mean it's the best ever. And for those of you who are out there using this who typically just don't care about your phone, not don't care, but like you're not going out and buying a phone intentionally with a 5,000 milliamp battery because your phone won't last through the day. This phone is not going to get you as good a battery life as an iPhone. It's not going to get as good a battery life as the S21, S21 Plus, all those phones that are out there that have significantly bigger batteries. But it should get you through a day. And I think that that's largely okay. And I say that for two reasons. One, if it's not okay, you like the phone as much as I do, so you're willing to charge it again so that you can get it to last all day long. So that's one option. And if it does last you all day, then you're sitting there wondering what is everybody complaining about when it comes to the battery life. So on my Z Flip 5G, I was getting right about 3 hours and 45 minutes, I would say, with about 20% battery life left. And with this one, even though they added the bigger processor, the Snapdragon 888, bigger I mean newer, more powerful, not really in size. It's actually smaller. It's a 5 nanometer design instead of a 7 nanometer. It's more power and battery efficient. And I had serious questions about that because I didn't really see those benefits with my S21 Ultra and with the other phones that I've used this year. So I was very hesitant going into this phone. 3,300 milliamp battery, 5G, 120 hertz refresh rate on the screen, added an extra speaker. That's a lot to look at, and when you're looking at what we got with the Z Flip and the Z Flip 5G with the 3,300 milliamps battery, I thought for sure that it was going to get much worse battery life. Surprisingly, it doesn't. I'm still getting about 3.5 to 4 hours of screen on time and about 15 to 20% battery left. Maybe there's like 5% less battery than what I was getting with the Z Flip 5G, but overall, I get right to about 4 hours of screen on time over about 10 to 16 hours. And you're probably saying that's not a lot. Well, if you are a screen life dependent person like I am, then yeah, you're not going to get, this phone's not going to last you till you go to bed at night. It's going to last you till you get home from work or until the evening time you can plug your phone in if you are especially rigorous with it. The only thing I would worry about is if you were going out for the day and you don't have a battery charger with you and you're planning on shooting a bunch of video, some pictures, maybe you're taking an outing to the zoo or you're going out on a field trip or you're going to the beach all day and you're just going to be shooting it and using stuff all day and nowhere near a charger. Yeah, I would probably have some battery anxiety by the end of the afternoon. But as far as day-to-day use, normal 9 to 5 life, and you wake up in the morning, you take it off the charger. When you get home from work, you're probably going to have about 30% battery. Some people who really are intensive, and this is, see, I don't use any battery conserving measures whatsoever. The only thing that I turn down is I use dark mode instead of light mode. Normally I use light mode. If I've got like my S21 Ultra or I've got my Z Fold, I use light mode because they have significantly bigger batteries. With the 3,300 milliamp battery on here, you don't notice any difference putting on dark mode versus light mode, but it does say battery. So I use it on the flip phones. That's really the only thing I do. I have everything else turned up full bore. Brightness is about 75–80%. And it gets me right about a little over 4 hours of screen on time, probably right around the 14-hour mark. So that means if you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, 14 hours is going to be 9 o'clock at night. I could live with that. And not just because it's not the greatest in the world, but because I enjoy the phone. The phone is fun. It's something that's different. I've loved the flip phones ever since they came out. I had the Z Flip. I had the Z Flip 5G. I have the Razr 5G. I just like this phone. I like the design. So if you really like the phone and it's lasting you till you get home from work, you're probably not going to have a lot of heartache about putting it on the charger when you get home. So I was expecting closer to about 3 hours of screen on time when I first heard about it and I first got the phone. And yeah, the first couple of days are not good. It has to learn your routines. It has to learn your battery life. It has to learn how you do things. And if you go in and you set your apps to, you know, the ones that are like you don't use often, if you set those for deep sleep, if you limit the amount of background stuff that you've got going on, if you put on adaptive brightness, if you there are things you can do that definitely get you more battery life. You can use some Bixby routines. I just made a video about that. I put out yesterday actually on some things you can do that'll really enhance like the performance and the battery life of your phone. This is a one-day phone. It's not going to be a two-day phone. It's not going to last you till midnight using it all day, but it'll get you through a day. And I think that largely that's what most people need. If you're a big night scene person, if you use it all day, you're going to have to recharge it before you go out and do anything. And it's only got 15 watt wired charging. I wish it were better than that. That concerns me. I think they do it though because the battery is so small, you can't afford to be killing the battery life on it. So if your battery life starts to dwindle, you start killing battery cells, high transfer rate speeds and things like that. If you use like a 35 watt charger, yeah, it charges faster, but it puts more stress and strain on the battery, especially if you're recharging it frequently. So I think that's why they do the 15 watt charging and still the 10 watt wireless charging. So it does take longer to recharge. It's not the fastest. That's really the Achilles heel, I think, when it comes to the battery, because I was only getting about 4.5, 5 hours out of my OnePlus 9 Pro, but I could recharge the entire phone in like 35 minutes. That was fantastic. If you could do that with this, if they can find a way to put that in like the Z Flip 4 eventually, that'll be fantastic. I still believe it needs more battery. I think it needs to have at least probably a 3800 milliamp battery. That would really go a lot of extra distance. Maybe give you an extra hour. And some people can squeak 5 hours of screen on time out of this phone. If you really go in and manage and micromanage the settings in your phone, if you mess with the dark mode, adaptive brightness, all those different things, I made a video specifically about how to get better battery life on this phone. If you follow that stuff, yeah, you can get 5 hours of screen on time and it'll last you probably 16 hours off the charger with that combination. So, but the moral of the story is, it's pretty much an all-day phone. It's not an all-day phone. It's like an all-business day phone. Many times I've called it the sun-up to sundown battery. I stand by that statement. I think it's pretty true. A little bit longer as we go into daylight savings time. Like once it starts getting dark at 5, yeah, you're going to get a little bit more after the sun goes down. But right now, you know, sun comes up in the morning, doesn't go down until 8 o'clock. Usually by about 7, 8 o'clock, you're going to need to find a charger. And that's it. I was expecting worse. It surprised me. Apparently, the optimization with the Snapdragon 888 really goes a long way to help out with the extra features that are on here. And it's a fun phone. I like the adaptive refresh rate, the 120 hertz. It makes it really fun to use. The extra speaker, even with 5G and everything in here. I think it's a solid phone. Everybody seems to love it. I don't really know anyone that doesn't like it. There are a few here and there, but largely, people seem to really like it, and this one seems to be it. Like the Z Flip and the Z Flip 5G just weren't the right place, the right time. They didn't get that traction. They didn't take off. This one seems to be selling like hotcakes. So I'm glad that other people are hopping on board and are enjoying the experience. I mean, I don't get any kickbacks from this. I paid for this phone with my own money, and I like it. I think it's very good. Oh, also, the reason that I have the black one instead of the cream one now, for those of you who are following along with my channel, I got a better deal with Best Buy. Also, when they sent me out my cream one, I ordered the Galaxy Watch 4, and it's never showed up. It's been sitting. It showed up at FedEx like an hour away the day this showed up. So it's been almost 2 weeks now, and it's still missing. I had to file a claim with it. So I said, forget this. I can get it cheaper at Best Buy. So I got it about $200-300 less there, especially minus getting the Galaxy Watch. So Best Buy finally has T-Mobile on board now where you can get phones. So I got a good deal on it. Black was all they had. So I said, you know what, I like the cream colored one, but I don't like it $200-300. I don't like it that much. So that's why I got the black one. Maybe I can swap it out at some point in the next week or two if they have one that shows up, but likely I think I'm stuck with this one. But I love the phone. I love the design. It gets enough battery life for me to be happy enough to carry it because I enjoy it. I just got to top it off in the evening. So that's all I've got in this video. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.